the end of the day, selling is transferring a feeling. If you don't have the feeling, you can't transfer it. If you don't have a good, positive feeling, dude, you're an actor. You have to sell and run your business from a place of positivity. And however you get there, God bless you. Welcome to the Primeau Show. It is episode 130, and we are here with Steve Karns and Jared Carlitz. Topic for today, sneak peek at the Las Vegas market, Bedding Industries of America. Without a further ado, let me pay the bills and we will get going. If you have not bought my book, Sell a Million, what are you waiting for? Over 101 tips for furniture and mattress store owners to sell another $1 million or more this year. And let me say thank you to Steve Hauk and my friends at the Mattress Industry Network group, over 2,000 strong. It's an absolutely free group. If you are in our industry and you want to network with other people and you want to learn how to market, how to build your business, this is the group for you. It's 100% free. Join right away. Say hi to me. I'm in there every now and again, at least once a week with my show. If you want to learn how to build your business, how to network, this is the group for you. And without a further ado, let's bring our guests out. Hey, Steve. Hey, Jared. How are you?
Oh, we're doing great. Good to be here.
So we have Steve Karns, our VP of Sales and Business Development, and Jared Carlitz, co-owner and COO of Bedding Industries of America, and most recently named one of the 40 under 40 for Furniture Today, people to watch, influencers. Congratulations on your honor, and I guess you'll have a function or two to attend to during the market for this.
Yes, thank you. No, appreciate it. It's really a privilege, and we've got a luncheon this Friday at the innovation event just before Vegas market. So looking forward to it.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So guys, before we get started about Las Vegas market, let's talk about what are you guys seeing out there in the market right now? What's happening? What's working? What's not working?
Hey, Pete.
Yeah.
I want to say something quick.
Sure.
Because I always interrupt you. I have had the honor of being with Bedding Industries of America for about 6 years now. And, when we first got there, it was all people like Primeau and Steve Karns. We were a bunch of 60-year-olds, right? And I kept looking around, hoping that we would get some young blood into the company. And I can honestly tell you that one of the most exciting things for me is to have Jared and his brother Phil and Steve Shortino join into the company during my tenure here at Bedding Industries of America. It's an honor to work with these guys. Their level of professionalism is second to none. I've had the honor to go out and ride in the field with Jared. We've spent weeks together out there, and I will tell you that when we get in front of customers and we're making our presentations, he is absolutely one of the best pitchmen that I've worked with. And I take my hat off to Jared and his brother. They have just done a miraculous job with Bedding Industries. I look very much forward to their leadership in our company. And this is a really bright day, because when you have a family-run business, and we have that wisdom that's coming in, because both Phil and Jared spent 10 years. Jared can probably explain that. Spent 10 years outside our industry, and they developed a whole bunch of skill sets that they're bringing into our industry and our company. And that's something that, not many companies, especially privately held companies like ours. This is a really special place. And, I think it would be bad just to gloss over that part of it, because, A company is nothing more than the people that are in it. And I want to tell you, we have some of the best people in the industry right here at BIA. And, it's an honor for me to work here.
Well,
I appreciate you saying that, Steve. That's very nice. And I got to pay it back. Obviously, Steve mentions we've spent a lot of time on the road together. We spent a lot of time in front of customers together. And I've learned a ton from watching Steve and from talking to Steve. So it goes both ways. So appreciate those comments, Steve.
I have to add to what you said, Steve. When I saw Jared and Phil coming in, I was so excited. And once I got to work, I barely work with Jared, but I work with Phil every day. And I got to tell you, the passion, the energy, the enthusiasm, the creativity, the getting outside of the box piece of it, it's huge. And I, like you, we're getting up there, and sometimes I see like 80-year-old reps shuffling at market, and I'm like, please never let that be me. when it gets that bad, just tell me, Pete, get off the stage. It's time to go. But I love seeing young energy, passion in our business. We need it. And Jared, thank you for bringing that to our company. It's very refreshing.
40 over 40. Yay.
Yes.
40 under 40. But 40 I appreciate that.
Right.
These.
A few years ago, you might not have been able to find 40
people
people under 40.
Stories to share about your brother, Phil. This must be our dear friend Scott Vaughn that owns Happy Z's. That's my guess. Do you have any good, juicy stories that Scott can hold over Phil's head when they're negotiating?
You know what? I'll have to think about that one. But Phil's a good kid. There's not much to say. There's not much to say. Nothing that you can hold over his head anyway.
Yeah, Phil's been a go-getter since he was a teenager, right? In the betting business.
Oh, yeah. No kidding. I mean, he started selling mattresses online before anybody did. He was selling them on Craigslist out of storage lockers. So he's and he was probably 14 at the time. So yeah, there's some stories there, but no.
I've heard the story.
No good blackmail material.
No, your dad Stu has told me some of the stories. He created some headaches for him.
Yeah, that was the end of Beds by Phil once those headaches reached a certain level. Otherwise, who knows what could have been.
Yep.
Steve Hauk, thank you for sponsoring the show, and thanks for being here, brother. I appreciate you. Pete, you don't want to keel over at market. No, I do not want to keel over at market.
But we're going to have to stay cool because I do believe the weather is going to be hot.
It is going to be hot. So, Steve, I'm going to read this, but then I'm going to absolutely deny it. Steve is one of the best pitchmen I've seen, next to Pete Primeau, of course. Let me tell you something. Well, the first time that I heard about Steve, Ed was telling me how good Steve was. And I'm like, all right. And I'm a contrarian by nature. Like if somebody says something to me, I just say BS and I try to take it down. And I'm like watching you and I'm going, dang, this guy's good. This guy's really good. And we've been in so many presentations over the last few years, Steve. It's been a joy to watch and learn from you. And listen, I love learning. I might be 62 years old, but I'm 20 at heart. And I love to learn. And I love and appreciate when I see somebody doing it right. And brother, you do it right. And Steve, I couldn't be a pimp on Steve Karns's, what. So
Well,
I just sit there and I take notes and I try to learn. That's it. So
I can
thank you for the
explain it.
compliment, Steve Howe. But
Yeah, thank you, Steve Hauk. But I can tell you, this is how it is, and I learned this from my sister, who's a few years. Oh, wait a minute, I think she just celebrated her, I don't know, her 30th or 40th anniversary of her 28th birthday. But she said, "You know why I run 5Ks?" And I said, "Why do you run 5Ks?" She goes, "Because once you get a certain age, there's nobody in your age group, and you win." and honestly, I just have been doing it longer than everybody else. I probably forgot more than half of what you guys know. So it's just one of those things. The other thing too is I really enjoy working with a team. I enjoy working with our retailers. If I get that spark, from the people that are around me, that just ignites the afterburners, and I go on my very own way.
One of the things that I would say differentiates us as a company is a lot of companies say they listen to their dealers, but they don't. And we truly do. And most of the innovations that I've seen, I know where they've originated. I was part of some of those conversations with some of those retailers that challenged us to create something, told us a problem that they're having, a need that they have. And we have been those guys that jump in there and fill those needs.
And there's a reason for that, Pete. Do you know what that reason is?
Yeah. That's our reason for existence.
Well, it is. And by the way, if you look at the history of BIA, we started in New Jersey servicing the New York metro market. And, that market, it's 20 miles wide and 50 miles north and south. And there's 500 dealers in that marketplace. And if you weren't creative, if Stuart didn't have the vision of how to multi-brand, we would have never have the backbone that we have today. And it's really, it starts with Stuart. It always starts with Stuart. And his vision for this company right from the very beginning has been spectacular. And it gives us the tools to go out there and be successful. And he supports our innovation. And by the way, you speak about that innovation. I'm going to tell you, there's nobody in the marketplace right now innovating like BIA. With stuff that we're going to be introducing at market, like the split head hybrid mattresses. Nobody else has that technology, the expertise. These beds are absolutely gorgeous. If your stores haven't looked at split heads, I'm going to tell you, you need to do it. Maybe not from the point of sales, but from the point of interest, because I tell everybody when we're pitching split heads is that this is one of those mattresses that you want to put in the very front of your store, right by the doors. Yeah. It's king size. It has the split head. So you immediately start talking about larger size sales, and you immediately start talking about adjustable beds, even before you get to the split head part. And by the way, that conversation, we always talk about how do you make a better sale? Do you upgrade the sale in dollars, by going to a more expensive model, or do you upgrade the sale by comfort by going to a larger size? And you're going to see this theme over and over and over today in our little pitch about Vegas, is that we choose the side of comfort, because if you win the passion of the comfort of the mattress, the price is secondary. And, and that helps the retailers make more money. And, when it's all said and done, these are the things that we need to do to make our dealers successful in their particular marketplaces.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that's, innovation has kind of always been in our DNA as a company. Eclipse has been a technology focused brand with proprietary and patented features like Spinal Zone, which is now in its third generation, clinically proven to reduce back pain and back stiffness. And then, some of the latest releases just, further expand on that innovation portfolio. Steve is talking about the split heads. We've got some of the best cooling mattresses on the market. I would actually call them the best cooling mattresses on the market, the Glacier series by Eclipse, and now the Eclipse Curve, our newest release, which is the one I'm most excited about for market. So, that's kind of always been in our DNA.
Yep. There you go. Glaciers and split heads.
If you're a retailer and you're looking at your competitors and your stores look identical, they don't have to pick up the phone and call us. Putting split heads on your floor changes fundamentally how customers perceive you, especially when you put split heads up in your window, when you pepper split heads throughout your floor presentation, your display looks different. And hopefully your experience delivers on the promise that this is going to be a different experience. It's not going to be the same old sleep shop experience that some customers have grown weary of. So I'm super excited. The minute I saw Glacier, Jared, I knew we had a hit, and the sales and the resales on the floor have proven that. And the Eclipse Curve, I haven't even seen it in person. I've only seen it in pictures, and I just can't wait till Friday till I see it in person. That's going to be an absolute treat. So, Steve, what's happening in the market that's different than a year ago that retailers need to start to address in their merchandising, in their displays, in their market, in their sales training?
Yep. So, Pete, that's a really, really great question. And it's one that I spent a lot of time thinking about. And I'm going to say about last August, I switched gears. Instead of, I was looking at the 3 years high of the best 3 years in my career, COVID, where you really didn't have to be a salesman. All you had to do was take orders and execute on those orders. And that just means ship. There was a abundance of orders, and we got just like every other manufacturer, we had more orders than we had capacity to make, and I knew that was going to be a biggie of my career. I also knew that this bus was going to stop at some point, and so a couple things that I wanted to look at is that instead of being in an event where you're trying to sell a gob of mattresses, I sat there and said, we now need to go to market share, because market share is going to be king over the next few years. And those things that you do to gain market share in your particular markets and in us on floors and helping that dealer achieve higher margins, because we knew a couple things. The door wasn't going to swing as vibrantly as it has in the past. So that means that every single sale that comes into the stores, we need to maximize that sale or optimize that sale. That means you need to upgrade sizes. You need to upgrade bases. You need to get sheet sales, mattress pads, pillows, and really, like I say, optimize every opportunity that comes in. Now, that's sort of the switch that we need to concentrate on today. There's some good things that I believe that come out of that COVID experience. And that is that the online sales were off the charts. And it seems like the surveys that I've been reading is that there isn't a high consumer satisfaction with the products that they bought when they bought offline during COVID. And we have sort of looked at some of the trend and that is that customers that buy especially inexpensively online, tend to have an experience that that life expectancy of the mattress for being from 3 to 5 years. And, Pete, that means that we're sort of in the lull time right now. But I do believe in 3 to 2 years, 4 years, 5 years from now, we're going to see those people re-enter the marketplace because they're not going to be happy with their selections, and they won't go back online to make that purchase. I believe they're going to want to test the beds. They're going to want to get some of that local expertise back into their mattress. And so, while that crystal ball's never perfectly clear, and who knows what happens that can affect that from one way or another, if everything just stays status quo, I do believe we're going to see a percolation of business. It's not going to get back to COVID levels, but it's going to be stronger than what it is today. And so that means now is the time to go shop and get your floors set up to win. And I like to say to go out there and win at every level. And, the other thing that, I see, and since you asked the question, the other thing I see is that the really good retailers are really paying attention not only to the master bedroom, but they're paying attention to the kids' rooms. They're paying attention to the guest room because they want that customer to keep coming back into the store. And if the mattress cycle is replacing 8, that means every 3 years you can have that customer back into your store if you're selling your kids' room, your guest room, and your master bedroom. And so I think a lot of people skip that because we've been told master bedroom, that's where you make all your money. And maybe it is, but I'm going to tell you, those guest rooms and those kids' rooms take care of the overhead. So when you sell one of those premium products, you make a whole lot more money. And I think we got to get back to that philosophy. And, I know we've done many things that you're going to see at Vegas. I mean, Phil developed a 12-inch hybrid mattress that's got our spinal zone technology in it. It is a roll pack bed that is a tank. It's indestructible. As Jared mentioned just a minute ago, the Spinal Zone 3, we're going to have that on display. Spinal Zone 3 puts over 1,400 coils, concentrated coils into the center third of the bed to get you the best possible support that you could have. We put a Polar Touch cover on this bed. Absolutely spectacular. Another thing that we did, while we're on this avenue, is we came out with a low profile premium bed that's 8 to 8 or 8.5 inches thick. This bed is so comfortable, Pete, that I would absolutely sleep on it every single night. And then just our regular, we're going to have our Susan G. Coleman mattress there, which is coming up in October. We're doing a $25 donation to Susan G. Coleman for breast cancer. This bed is, it's gorgeous. It's got a pink cover on it, a Tencel pink cover. Looks absolutely gorgeous. It is super, super comfortable. And, you can sell for $7.99 and make a long mark. And so these are the types of things that we look at on how to execute for the dealers. And this is our back room. This isn't the front room. This is the back room, but we got you covered.
Just want to give Scott Vaughn and Wanda Vaughn a shout out. They've gotten behind this bed that you just mentioned, the pink bed. It's number one, it's just a great bed, but number two, it's an even better cause. And that disease touches everybody. And if you don't think your customers care about that, I really want you to reconsider that. I want you to really think carefully about that, because your customers do care. And when you put that in the front of your store and you put that banner, that pink banner up, you will get questions, you will get interest, and you will make sales. and you will be part of the solution instead of part of the problem. So sorry for kind of hijacking that a little bit.
That's
one
fine.
of one of the things I want to circle back to is this COVID. Our sales muscles got soft at retail and wholesale. It was coming at us so easy. We didn't do sales meetings anymore. And now we are starting to get feedback. And Steve, I'm specifically talking about the feedback that you got from one of your furniture stores, that their sales muscles got soft. They had a problem. They had worked hard in the past to gain market share in mattresses, and they were seeing it slide away, and they brought that problem to you. And I just want you to tell that story, because I
I
think
got beat
it's a
up.
fabulous story about a problem and a solution. And
So-
I think it's
it's a story that I hear very often when I'm out on the road, and that is that, pre-COVID, the stores were running at plus 10% as a bedding mix to their overall business, and during COVID, furniture sales went through the roof. The bedding sales as a percentage of their overall business declined, and I had people that were honest with me told me it dropped under 5%. And they wanted it back, and we did all sorts of things. We ran contests, we put spiffs on it, PMs, we did some social media posts, we did a whole bunch of things, and we got little incremental increases. And I got called in to a meeting with one of our better retailers, and he said, Karns, I'm not up where I need to be. It's your job to fix it. We did sales meetings on Saturday mornings. I had my reps out in the stores every other week trying to, get this thing really going. And we went into his managers meeting. He has 6 stores. We were sitting in with the managers, and like all of those meetings, we need a $3.99, we need a $12.99. No, we need something that's double stacked, we need hand tufted, we need blah 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 blah. And there was many needs, but nobody was all on the same sheet of music. So I actually excused my rep and I, Greg Wortman and I, we excused ourselves and said, why don't everybody think about it? Let's write down our notes and see what it is. And Greg and I walked out the front of the door, and I turned around and I looked at the banner above the store, and I looked at Greg and I said, if you and I were our wives and we were standing in this parking lot ready to walk through that door, what is it that we want to accomplish if we were there to buy a set of bedding? And we narrowed it down to just 2 things. I gotta get that on the camera. 2 things. Number 1, we need to make a mattress. We need to find the right bed for our backs. We need to find the right comfort, and we need to develop a facility that will get that done in a faster, easier method. The second thing that our wives would have wanted to accomplish is to come in at budget, or to come in at a good price, something of value. So what we did is we turned around, we walked back in, and we sat down because they hadn't broke up the meeting. They were on to other things. And I said, I came back, we figured it out. and they looked at me and they said, what do you mean you figured it out? And I said, yes. I said, I figured it out, but you're not going to do what I'm going to ask you to do. And he goes, what do you want me to do? I said, I want to use the same cover on 5 models, and they're all going to have the same spring system, their same cover, and I want to put them down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right in a row. And we're going to go from an extra firm to a super luxury plush, and we're going to have every feel in between. We're going to have 5 of them. And I can sort of envision this thing as being ILD of foams. If it's a 10 ILD, it's a super, super hyper soft foam. If it's a 50 ILD, it's rock hard. So that's how I want to take it through the process. So we went to work with this, and we developed what Mr. Shortino calls the Fab 5, the Fabulous 5. And we put it down on the floor. And, he had a salesperson that was a mega writer. And when I say mega writer, she was way off the charts as far as writing business. And he said, I can't be mad at her, but her percentage of sales for bedding is next to nothing. And the very first weekend we had this on the floor, she sold 2 kings and a queen. And she said, this is the easiest thing I've ever seen. I have my customer come in. I start them in the middle, which we call 30 because you got 50 and 10. So 30's in the middle. And I say, lay down on this. Tell me, is that just right? Or do you think you want it a little bit firmer? Or do you think you want it a little bit softer? And whatever the response is. And by the way, now this is the customer's feedback, and we're not interfering with the process. We're not trying to sell too soft of a bed or too firm of a bed. And the customer says, gee, I'd like to have a little bit firmer. Roll one bed to the right. They lay on that bed. Now, is that just right? Or do you think you might want it a little bit firmer? Well, I'm not really sure. Well, roll one more bed to the right. And they either look at you and say, Eureka, I found it. Or you've got to be crazy. I like this one. Right. And the same thing on the plush side. And just think about that for a minute. It's all in the same look. It has all of our spinal zone sleep technology in it. They all have gel memory foam. We actually put a steel edge support unit in it, so they're adjustable bed friendly. These beds are loaded. I say it's a check mark mattress because if you go down 10-year non-parade warranty, gel memory foam, adjustable bed friendly, go right down. I think I have a sheet that has like 25 check marks on it, which I would consider to be important in any bed. And we sell these beds at a retail of $9.99 where the dealer makes margin. And by the way, they carry that price point better than anything else at the price point. So we're not trying to stuff something in so the dealer makes margin. We're giving better value at those price points. Anyhow, I've never, again, I've been doing this. I think this is my 43rd year. I don't want to say that too loud, but I'm going to tell you, I've never seen anything that's been embraced by smart retailers. And when we get it in, it's flying. I mean, these beds, they as I say, that dog can hunt, and they're hunting really well right now.
Yeah, I'll just add a little bit. I love this program, and I think I kind of call it the optometrist approach. I'm not sure if you've ever sat in the optometrist chair where they show you the 2 different lenses and they say A or B, 1 or 2. And then eventually you get to the point where they say, perfect. All right, you've got it. I can see. So that's kind of how I feel about this. It sort of takes the guesswork. And that's why I kind of call it almost a diagnostic tool. But I think this all ties back to innovation. You have different types of innovation. There's product innovation, and then there's business model or sales process innovation. And I think this fits into the latter half. This is truly an innovative approach to selling. And we're seeing dealers now redevelop their entire store layouts and their store merchandising strategy just around this line. So it's really exciting.
See, I told you he's a good pitch man.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Steve,
yep.
When you first showed this to the lineup and you did your sales meeting, did instantly the salespeople get it and just kind of go, okay, this simplifies selling for me?
And I'm going to say that I've in all the places that I have pitched it, and I'm probably just in the East Coast, I bet you we have at least 50 dealers that have embraced the program. And every place that we've pitched it, and this is how I judge it. Everybody, when we went through the sales training, they were like, oh, that's a neat idea. That's a neat idea. And, that's pretty much what you got. It was the 2-week and the 3-week revisit when you come in and they run up to you and say, I love these mattresses. This is so easy. This is exciting. I can't believe how easy it is. Why didn't we have this before? And I laughed at him and I said, because we were stuck in a rut. We merchandise as a firm a plush and a pillow top in a cover at a price point. And then at another price point, we did a firm, a plush and a pillow top and another cover. And then at another price point, a firm, a plush and a pillow top. And I said, so when your customer came in, you were confusing them right out of the gate. Now we take all that confusion out. We concentrate on the comfort. We find the bed that's right for the consumer without our prejudice on it. And they're rewarding us by giving us the sales. And, and what I also really stress on this is that we don't bring price into the equation till the very end. And by the way, that's where it belongs. Let's get the right product at first, because if it's truly the right product, people will figure out how to afford it, and so that's what we concentrate on. And by the way, there's different economies out there, and Pete, we talk about evolution. So we had the Fab Five, that was the introduction. And by the way, all five will be at the Vegas market. It's our Eclipse Comfortmatic Moonlights. And we had actually two dealers come to us, and they say, I'm a big high-end dealer, and I have, my one brand in the blue cover that does really, really well for us. But my problem is that it stops at a price point, and then I got to drop to here to pick up the rest of it. And the other brand that's black mainly, it did the same thing, but it left actually a little bit bigger gap in the merchandising. So they said, what can you do to help us? And we really like, by the way, this Fab Five. It's doing really well for us. So I went back and I did the deep dive, as I like to say. I pulled up specs on everything I could possibly find and looked at what was available to us. So what I did is I said, okay, they're all featuring a double coil, whether it's a coil inside a coil or a wired wrapped coil. They're all featuring a coil on coil. And in our repertoire, we have a double stack nested pocketed coil. It's world class. It's what's found in, there's our Moonlight. It's what's found in, your top world-class beds like Hastings, Vispring, Duxiana. They use that double stack nested coil. So I developed a bed that had that in. I looked at the better beds that were offered at much higher retails. There's my check marks. So we looked at that, and they had nano coils in them. They had latex in them. They had a vented story. They had PCM or cooling stories. So what we did is we came back to the drawing board, and it wasn't easy. By the way, this is not as easy as you think to develop 5 distinct and unique feels. But we came back and we did the Fabulous 5, but now we renamed it and we called it the Eastman House My Comfort. And so I have double stack nested coils. We have latex. We came out, which we're going to talk about in much greater detail. We came out with a 4-pound vented gel memory foam with PCM gel, solid gel. And we put that in here. So what we actually ended up with was, I think, one of the most incredible set of bedding that we've ever had come through our plants. And what's important about that is that these beds will be the best value on the floor, hands down. Now it's going to be at an elevated price point. We basically design these to retail around $24.99. But let me tell you, the retailers will be smiling the whole way to their bank because these are loaded with margin for the customer. I had one of our biggest retails out of New Jersey come to the factory, and I had made 2 of these and had them sitting in the showroom. And I laugh. The general manager hopped up on it, and he looked at me and he said, "I think this is my favorite mattress I've ever laid on." And when he said that, I was like, "Yes, we nailed it." So just an incredible, an incredible start. So we're going to have a few of these beds at Vegas Market. It is a brand new program for us, and I'm super excited. I mean, these beds, again, I say, we build beds to be outstanding values. I don't know what adjective you used above outstanding value, but you want to get me excited. This is definitely in the coil world. This is as good as you can possibly make any bed from any manufacturer. Come in and lay down on them. I promise you, you're going to be very, very happy. And happy in more ways than one. Happy on the comfort side, happy on the profit side. And I believe your customers are going to enjoy them even more.
Yeah, one of the really interesting places that we've had success with this line is, we talk to retailers all the time, and one of the challenges that we've heard is retailers want to grow, they want to expand, they want to open new stores, but what's the biggest challenge you have? They tell us it's finding people. It's finding RSAs who can man the stores. And, good retail sales associates, of course, can be developed, but that takes time and that can constrain a retailer's growth. This gives them a tool to narrow the entire population of mattresses on the floor down to a subset that might be the right fit for the customer who walks in the door. It sort of gives them a process and a script that they can follow as they develop those retail sales chops. So that's just been another place where this has been really helpful.
I think what you just said, Jared, is huge. Show me a system that works with average salespeople. Show me a system that works with new salespeople, that does not depend on 20 and 30-year veteran sales pros at retail. And you've got my attention as a buyer, because I think we all need an easier sales process right now. The stories that I hear from my retailers about their inability to get the kind of people that they really want go on and on and on. And anything that we can do, any sales process that we can simplify and bring to market and show a better way to sell a bed. And Steve, going back to your point, if you ask any furniture salesperson, what's the one item they hate selling the most in the store? It's always the mattress. If they're being honest with you, it's always the mattress. And the reason it's the mattress is because, and they'll put their hands on their hips and they'll go, I don't want to memorize all those specs. I don't want to do that. I have to memorize all these custom fabrics over here, and I'm not doing that over here with mattresses. What if I showed you a way for your customer to get the exact right mattress for them that didn't involve you having to pitch specs back and forth? What if I could show you that? And that's what you've done, Steve. This is the most beautiful selling system I've seen. And it's almost like an inverted comfort selling, but it's easier and it's funner. And to me, it is the perfect thing at this point in time with what our retailers are dealing with. Look at their concerns and what they have to wrestle with every day. What are our retailers wrestling with? Personnel issues. And it's with drivers, it's with everybody, and it's with salespeople. And they can't keep salespeople. A lot of times they don't even answer the want ads anymore. And when they set up interviews, they don't even show up for the interviews. And then they show up and it's less than what you hope for, but it's best than not having a body there. And what is an easy sales process that helps them close sales, that doesn't I'll never forget this as long as I live. Steve, 41 years ago, I'm just out of school. Therapeutic rep teaches me how to sell mattresses. Do you know the only thing I could remember from that? I remembered that I got paid $35 extra if I sold this one, $25 extra if I sold that one, and $10 extra if I sold this one over here. That's all I could remember. I was literally
Oh, you mean you made money at this?
like a deer in the headlight. I mean, whatever he said about foam or springs just went.
Yeah.
And, you know, our sales training back then was horrible, Steve. You know, we talked about specs and we didn't really translate those specs all the way across to benefits, right? And to outcomes that consumers want. So our selling was kind of barbaric back then.
Yep.
And I love this innovation in the sales process. I think that if you're a buyer and you haven't seen this, this is compelling enough to make it to be 11-18. If you don't, you're cheating your company out of something that could be a game changer for your business.
Well,
Sorry.
Pete, you know, you that last 2 or 3 minutes there, you just took the thunder. We saved the best for last. Okay. And it's called the curve. And, you know, Jared mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, this is what's really getting him excited about market. You know, Jared and his brother and I went to a conference in, I think that was Phoenix. And we were set up next to an adjustable bed manufacturer. And I think we had Eagles jerseys on for some reason. I don't remember exactly why.
I know I did, yeah.
and while we were standing there, you know, I was complaining. You know, a typical salesman. You know, we don't sell foam mattresses. Foam mattresses are just so hard to sell. You know, there's no bottom to them. You can't make money selling foam mattresses, blah, 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 blah. And I happened to look over and I saw this real modulated adjustable bed platform. And I looked at Phil and Jared and I said, man, I said, you know, if we could figure out how to make our mattress like that adjustable bed platform, we could win at this. And so I went back to the factory. I drove our production people crazy because they hate it when sales guys go out on the floor. I went out. I cut some slabs of foam. I was back there with the hot melt glue. I'm gluing stuff together, and I take a picture of it and I send it out to the group. And I'm like, look at this. This might work. And anyhow, the long and the short of it is, you know, when you look at premium foam mattresses, you know, most of these are being sold on an adjustable basis. And the only way up until now is that you either had to sell them a latex core that, you know, is rubber that just totally blends or bends to the adjustable bed frame, or you had to sell them a really soft core so that it would fold and bend to the adjustable bed frame. Now, we know through our sleep studies that you need to have a supportive base underneath you, whether that's a great pocketed coil or a firm core, high density urethane foam. Now, if you're trying to make a bed for an adjustable and you go that soft route, well, now you're going to have that customer hammocking into that bed because the core is too soft to provide the skeletal the support that it needs so that when you wake up, you're not sore and stiff. So we went back to the drawing board. We've actually have a patent pending on this technology. We came out with a way to segment that core with high density, very firm foam, and have it completely contour to the shape of the, as I say, curve to the shape of the adjustable bed. Now, a few things happened because of the way that we did it and the way that the averages of the breaks on adjustable beds occurred is that, your shoulders are the widest part of your body. And we actually have a little bit of softness for that area so that the core will actually give you a little bit more give in that area. By having it segmented the way we do, it goes up into the small of the back. It fills in that area. So we're only talking about the core right now, all right? Because what Jared and what Phil did from that core is they've created masterpieces. So the very first thing that we did is we decided that we wanted it, whether it's a 10-inch or 11-inch bed or the very, very best bed, we wanted to put the best material that we could right up in the surface of that stack. And we have a proprietary component that we're using. It is a vented 4-pound MDI memory foam gel. And then what we did is we put a schmear across the top that's overloaded. Now, when I say schmear, it's the solid gel that's overloaded with PCMs. So when you put your hand on this, it is icy. Okay. And that's just the top surface. Now think about the genius of all of that. You got super high density, you've got ventilation, you got PCM, and it's the top of every one of the beds. On the very top of our curve line, we go the next layer down. We put a 5-pound memory foam. And again, the feel that we're deriving from this is insane. And then the next level underneath that, we put an inch of copper infused memory foam to make it all antimicrobial, bacterial. So you have a stack out that's incredible. Now, one of the stories I love about Curve is, we told Stuart, we're coming up with this construction, and he's looking through a magazine and he sees curtains in the back of one of the ads. And he says, I love that. We need to get a cover made like that. And so we got this cover made, and it's a really heavy, I forget what the weight of it is. Maybe Jared knows off the top of his head. But it's a heavyweight spandex cotton cover. It is got dots in it. And we have like blue dots, beige dots, and then it's sort of a whitish, steelish background. So our levels that we did is we did a blue level, we did a beige level, and we did a gray level. So, you have a 14-inch bed, you have if I did that right, 13-inch bed, a 12-inch bed, and an 11-inch bed at 3 different firmnesses. And then we've expanded each one of those levels out so that there's a placement on either side of the one in the middle. We're going to have these at Vegas. Coke, Pepsi. I would love to have the top foam, memory foam product in the marketplace. I would love to take a cover and just wrap around our curved bed, wrap around one of their beds, and have them just 20 random people come in and ask us to identify which one was which. And I would believe that more people would pick the Curve as the best bed. And we're going to find out real soon because there's only been a handful of people in the country have seen it. And so be one of the first to test it out. Come into our show space at B 1118 in building B. And I can't wait to see the reaction from the retailer. And again, we designed this line so that we can save the consumer $1,000 at retail, and the retailer does not have to give up one margin dollar by selling it. Meaning that if he sold a bed at $41.99 and he's selling our bed at $31.99, the margin dollars that he would have made out of either sale is going to be the same. And that's the value equation that's going to make retailers smile.
So if they're not coming to see the mattresses, they should definitely come for the happy hour between 3 and 5 every day. If you guys don't come to B1118, I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't care if you're a buyer for a top 100 or you're a single sleep shop. We have so much going on in this space. Every market, everyone says the same thing. This is the busiest space in market, and this is the most creative space in market. And this is the this is the place to be. One of the things that we didn't talk about, and I want everyone to know, is yes, you should come and you should see our split head beds because it's a huge differentiator. You should see the new Eclipse curve. You should see the My Comfort by Eclipse. You should see Eastman House My Comfort, the diagnostic selling system that Steve has developed. You have to see that. But don't sleep on the fact there's a lot of dealers out there right now. You're still not showing two-sided beds. I don't understand it. We have some of the best two-sided beds in the market. And I would not be doing my job as a representative for this company if I didn't say this to you. You absolutely need to understand that the biggest and best private label mattress company is Bedding Industries of America. It's almost like it's a secret. Every time I say it to somebody, like, what? You do private label? Like, yeah, we're like the best at it. So guys, if you're going to Vegas, stop in Building B, floor 11, B1118, be there or be square. Jared, we've been doing all the talk, and we should give you a couple minutes of Jared Carlitz time.
Hey, I agree with everything you guys have said. I don't think I've got anything to add. I think we've got some really exciting releases at the market. And I think especially right now, the markets are more important than ever with consumer demand being soft. The dealers who are winning right now are re-examining their store layouts. They're re-examining their product portfolios, their price points, and their entire merchandising strategy. So, it's kind of like both of you said earlier, we start with the retailer first, ask ourselves what the retailer needs right now. Like Steve, you were talking about earlier, we need to maximize every opportunity in the store. And I think the other thing I would add to that is we need to maximize foot traffic. We need to maximize turns of the door traffic, whether it's online or in store. Maximizing that traffic is critical. And, that's why we try to give the retailer what they need in order to do that. Stories like split head, stories like cooling, stories like the Curve, the most adjustable friendly mattress in the market. So, I think I'll echo what both of you said, especially Pete, what you just said there. We hope to see everyone come by B1118 at market and check out some of BIA's latest innovations.
Steve, the last minute is yours, my friend.
We sell rectangles, Pete. And I think earlier in this podcast, I said, right now is the time you need to dedicate to set yourself up for the future, right? And everybody has rectangles. But when you come to B1118 at the Bedding Industries of America showroom, and you've been into the bedding industry for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, it's like taking a kid to a candy store. I mean, this is fun. You're going to have fun visiting our showroom. And I look forward to meeting you, and personally like to welcome all of you to come to our showroom Even if it's a fast walkthrough, it's going to be worth the time to come do that walkthrough.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Jared. I'll see you guys Friday in Vegas.
You got
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you, Pete. Thanks for
guys.
having us.
Take care.
Yep.